The last best of 3 of the Winamax Espresso Invitational. Starting to the top right, we have the ace player for Team Alien Invasion. It is Patience, who just took down Hazorps with a 2-0 in the last series. Now we have him going up against the Zerg player to the top left for Team Mouse Sports. It is Vortix, their ace player, who was successful earlier against Revenge. Our starting map is Habitation Station. Yonsu will be map number 2, and if need be, Polar Knight is going to be map number 3. So we're gonna see a Zerg versus Protoss here for the ace match. Currently the score in the overall team match is a 2-2 here at the finals. And, well, let's find out who's going to take the first lead. Who will win this best of 3 and win the entire thing for his team. It's going to be a pretty exciting one, to be absolutely honest with you. I was really looking forward to this series, and we were talking about it a little bit already earlier. And the one thing that I wanted to see was this best of 3, and it's exactly what we're getting. So I'm pretty happy about that. Like, count me in. At this point, we have actually a Vortex. Wait a second, please let me... Whoa, what? Gas first? Look at that. Gas first into pool. Interesting. 14 gas into pool right away. I haven't seen that in quite some time. So, Vortex actually going straight for a big change in the opening. This is basically like old school Wings of Liberty, what you did all the way back in the days. It was like one of the most stable builds that he could go for as a Zerg player, but that was also when everybody still was trying to figure the game out, and that's something that Patience by now scouts, and he's like, wait, what? You're going for gas already and you have your spawning pool? Alright, dude, I guess, well, there's gonna be some aggression on the map. It's gonna be, yeah, this is gonna be a good one. So, I'm pretty excited to see how he's gonna fare with that. I mean, there's gonna be a super fast speed of all things. The Queen is also gonna be super fast, but of course he sacrifices some economy for that. But Patience already sitting all the way back at home. And what we currently have is Patience with his cybernetics core. Not completed just yet. Nothing on the low ground, not even a pylon here. And the first 4 Zerglings are being built. So let's see how he's going to work with that. He's at least going to be able to put quite some pressure on Patience and also make sure that he knows if there's a probe on the map, if those Zerglings are going to cover the area. This is one of those matches where you are really happy that you stay awake at 4 o'clock in the morning in Korea because you can cast them. I mean, that's just like exactly what I wanted to see. Vortex, Patience, those are like matchups that are like, yes! Especially after how Vortex did in the Vasakas Invitational, our foreign hope here, having great games, especially against players like Stardust and Jakshi, for example. So right now he has to deal with Patience, and that's gonna be a pretty good one as well. So to the left side of the map, we currently have Hatch for Vortex being built. So he has that fast tech, he has that fast gas, doesn't really do anything with it just yet. But keep in mind that one of those builds that a lot of players on this map, Protoss players, really like to use. They're basically like 2 builds that are very popular. Immortal Push on this map is absolutely great, and it's sometimes something where a lot of Zerg players struggle. But I've seen Vortex crush opponents that try to Immortal Push him, and like absolutely brutally. Nice, gets the probe here, so no expansion for now, at least not with this probe. But yeah, Vortex pretty much knows very well how to deal with an opponent that goes into an Immortal Push against him. So he is not somebody to be trifled with. On the other hand, there's also a build where you really try to take that gold base early as a Protoss player, and then you try to just do damage with gateways only. You build 9 to 11, and that's something where an early speed will help a lot if you identify that and really do damage, because suddenly you are so much more dangerous in the early game that you can always just decide to go for it if the opportunity arises. So you're a little bit more flexible with that. So at this point we have the Forge starting at the front, and that already puts a stop to any thought that he might get that base over there and maybe go for the massive gateway aggression. But at least for now he has a few gateways in his main base, 3 in total, which is something that Oscar the Overlord has already spotted, so he knows very well that this is going on. We have the Roach one on the other hand for Vortex now building as well, and he is getting a 3rd base. He's heading into the 2nd gas right now, has started to mine gas again, and he's just trying to build up his normal macro game here from here on out. Whereas for Patience, we have that Robotics Bay all the way at the front. We might see a couple of Immortals after all, but against, like, Vortex is one of those players, one of those Zerg players where I still feel if you go into Immortals on this map against him, of course it's still a super strong build, but he knows how to deal with that. Not that it's easy. Like one wrong move and the force fields are gonna cut off half of your army, and then you just lose everything there. But we already have him now heading into lair tech as well. As for patience, the Nexus is just now finishing up, where we see 4 Vortix. Also the third base about to be completed. So with this in mind, we have now the robotics facility not going for the Immortal, but instead going straight for the Warp Prism. And that's going to be interesting, since we have additional gateways started as well. And not only, yeah, he's going for 2 additional ones. It puts him up to 5 gates in total. So 5 gates with the +1 attack upgrade and the Warp Prism here. Curious to see how much damage he can really do with that, because Vortix is at this point at 45 harvesters. Not over-droning that just yet. We have him also with creep tumors that he can immediately use right over here. Should be active in just a few seconds. There's actually a second one here too, so that he can spread the creep up that ramp. Overlords in the main base, double checking everything, so he sees the 2 gateways here. He knows exactly that he needs to be careful and can't just simply over-drone. Gets roaches already, and the roach speed is on the way. But here come those creep tumors that I was talking about a little bit earlier. So with this in mind, he can now really make sure that gateway aggression is not going to be easy. But the force field on the ramp in the main base is of course a different story. I can't believe that that simply happened. While I was looking at that third base, he just snuck into the main. Oh my god, is he really just gonna go for the continuous force field on the ramp and gonna get all of them? We have immediately the counter aggression attempt by Vortix. But this is one of those builds that just makes you look so silly, but at least he has the roaches for now, so he can make sure that he doesn't lose too much. He will be able to force this back. He's not going to die to this. I haven't actually seen a Zerg player die to this in a long time, since by now most of them fend that off a little bit easier, but still, that's a lot of units lost already. That's 5 harvesters lost. It wasn't like too dramatic there, but still, that was, yeah, not really what he expected either. He was probably also quite focused on the third base here and really eager to spread the creep forward to make sure that he can deal with anything incoming. But the Warp Prism had other plans, was veering off a little bit into the main base. But not too many kills just yet. I mean, resources lost, yes, it's 1,000 against 350, but that's not yet a game-winning move. But definitely a smart choice by Patience. For Vortix, on the other hand, we have still decent tech with Hydralisks now coming into play as well. 53 harvesters against 46. So it's not like Patience has already 3 bases or anything like that. Patience is still in the position where he has to be a bit careful. The robotic spay is now on its way, but that Hydra den is already completed, and he's just getting more and more of those. He could try to completely deny his opponent a third base with what he's currently building there. He's only going for units. We are already looking at 70 army supply against 39. So that's very dangerous what he's doing at this point. And I don't know. Patience has, with that Warp Prism and the Immortals there, definitely a tool that can do a lot of damage in the main base. But at the same time, Vortix has a massive army, and if that army walks cross-map, he might be able to do a lot of damage there, especially to that attempted third base. There's the Queen. Yeah, that Queen is going to die within a second. He's probably going to lose that Hydra too. Well, with a bit of a micro, he will lose that. The Queens don't have the energy for a transfuse. If he just... Yes, the Hydra den is gone. So, well done by Patience. A very exposed structure and positioning here for Vortex's Hydra den. That's one of those things that you sometimes just don't think about. The positioning, that it's very exposed there against the drop. And it's one of those things that just... It's like... you do it automatically. It's very hard to really consciously think about it and train yourself to put those structures into a different place. I can still remember when most Protoss players were putting all of their tech structures into horrible positions on the Tier shipyard and got Terran dropped every single time and lost nearly everything. But well, for now it's more about the fight. Yeah, that Colossus doesn't have extended thermal lance just yet. That Mothership core is still alive as it happens. Can go for the photon overcharge here. Most likely will, but that Nexus looks like it's going to be dead in just a few seconds. 1 or 2 more volleys and it's going to be gone. And yeah, even with the photon overcharge, it's not going to survive here. The Protoss army is still in a corner. A 50 supply lead for Vortix. The army supply is 93 against 51. Vortix moving in, trying to do as much damage as he can. Most of those Immortals are already gone. The sentries alone are not going to be able to prevent the Colossus from dying either. Yes, this is going to be at least a GG for this army, if not for Patience in game number 1. A lot of damage done here by Vortix. He will not be able to completely push through, but he crippled that economy of his opponent. He took most of the tech down. Resources lost is still in favor of Patience, but it's 3 base against 2. Great position for Vortex here, especially since now he just starts to transition into Mutalisk. A complete switch of tech, and Vortex might be able to just kill the entire economy in the main base, because there is nothing that really defends this. And with him even attacking the 3rd base once again and trying to force another canceller, I don't think that Patience is even expecting that. The Immortal is already gone. That Colossus is, of course, still holding the flag of Patience high, but still with everything else dying on the low ground, especially those important sentries, it doesn't really look like it's going to change anytime soon. The Warp Prism might fall victim to the Mutalisk, but then at least finally find out what's going on. And yeah, it's definitely going to die there. But that gives him the opportunity to get a few units in the main base to make sure that his economy is not falling apart. So Patience not dead yet, but he's definitely behind. Mutalisk suddenly roaming the map. He currently has that blink upgrade, as you can see, so it's not like he's completely helpless. He's definitely mobile, and yeah, putting that to good use. Not killing a Mutalisk though. Getting a little bit unlucky there with his moves. The problem is that the Zerglings and the Roaches are once again going straight for their 3rd base, or at least trying to, but this time he cannot force the canceller. Yeah, pathing problem here too, costing a lot of those Zerglings their life, but Mutalisks are now in the main base again, and they are doing the damage. 51 Harvesters against 78. Vortex is taking a gold expansion, and he took a significant lead in this game already. He's controlling the pace of it. He's making the moves. He is initiating the battles and making sure that he's the one who has the complete map control. Patience doesn't really know what he should defend. He needs his units everywhere. He has 11 Stalkers. The Stalkers moving in just at the right time, but one of those Colossi goes down regardless, and Patience can not really afford to lose those Colossi, whereas with 20 Mutalisks on the map, Vortex can definitely suffer 1 or 2 dead Mutalisks. That's not a big problem for him right now, especially with a 5th base being built at the bottom of the map already. So great position here for Vortex. Looking at his position, we have 19 Mutalisks. We have still a couple of ground units there, but it's really more about the air units than anything else at this point. Mutalisks are going into the main base once again. They can fight the Stalkers. That's exactly what they're doing right now. With the Photon Overcharge, that's maybe a little bit of a battle that he wants to avoid. But in general, he can take a few trades here. He already has the, well, plus attack upgrade on the way. Another force over here assembled to maybe put pressure onto that 3rd. But Vortex hasn't won it just yet. So even though he can take trades where he doesn't really get the best out of it, he still needs to be careful. Great position on the map, very, very great job with his attacks so far and putting him forward. But at the same time, he should not overextend too much. But yeah, the Mutalisk numbers are starting to get a little bit ridiculous here. I mean, we're looking at 24, he's getting another 5, he's already moving in with Zerglings, trying to go for it. And now with the Lings, the Mutalisks are suddenly not that vulnerable anymore. Moving in already, forcing those Stalkers back, sniping them one by one, and all of those sentries completely exposed. He gets them basically for free. Zerglings dying. Decent defense by Patience so far. He's really holding on. I mean, Vortex is looking great in this game, but Patience now on 1-1 upgrades is doing what he can to stay in this game. And Vortex doesn't really have a lot of upgrades. I don't even think he has the evolution chambers. No, he doesn't have them. But he has the gold base over there. His income, I mean, we can have a quick look. His income is definitely superior. It's more about the gas than anything else. I mean, look at this. He's doubling his opponent gas income. And he's still fighting Stalkers with Mutalisks because he can. The bouncing of the glaives is doing a great job here. Mutalisk numbers are still at 30. Blink forward, putting them out of cooldown. And it's just those fights that he takes where he says, like, yes, you don't have the numbers. I can fight that. Resources lost 15,000 against roughly 13,000. Once again, the 3rd being attacked, and now the Mutalisks making their way over. The Archon is down, the 2 cannons as well. Finally, the Stalkers are making their way down towards that 3rd, but now the ground army is, of course, attacking them as well. The few remaining Zealots that we have there, Zerglings that we have there, and the rest of the Mutalisks. They're just way too many of them. They move in and take the Stalkers one by one. The GG called, and Vortex takes their first map against Patience.